Released on the same month, on the same day, at the same goddamn time as another cash-in. Here is...
Welcome to the horror show! You realize there is nowhere to run! Don't know, came to fight! Paranoia is getting alive!
666. The child! The asylum's old days. The Blot! After a horrific plane crash with one survivor, little 12-year-old Donald is adopted by a reporter and her cameraman husband. Now, very little strange things begin to occur and conclusions are jumped to as this ominous movie plays out. Okay, so this is a ripoff of The Omen and a cash-in of It and the Remake 2. However, instead of being called Ominous, or 666 The Omen, they opted for a more marketable and less copyright-having title. You see, numerical order comes before the alphabet on Netflix, and 666 The Child would make much more money than Ominous. I will say, though, this is a time where the asylum didn't have much of a budget, and their films were sometimes unintentionally comedic. This film didn't go too over the top, which was good. I was quite surprised with the effort and patience they had for an hour and 10 minutes of film, plus 10 minutes of end credits. Acting could have been a problem, but oddly enough, no one was bland or piss poor. Instead of a 5-year-old Damien, we get little 12-year-old Donald. I don't know why they didn't secure the rights to Damien as it is an actual name. Oh well, maybe it couldn't be used in this context. Anyway, Donald is played by Boo Boo Stewart. Really? And he does a pretty decent job. Although I would have preferred a quieter, less foul-mouthed kid. There's an awful lot of swearing in this movie, and it made me think if they were going for The Omen with somewhat of an Exorcist twist. I didn't like that they made him 12 years old, but it wasn't all that bad. It could have been worse. They could have passed him off as if he were 5 or something. Sarah Levine from Super Shark and Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus isn't in the movie all that much, and when she does return, it's like, oh, who cares? Well, the film says that, not us. Levine plays in a lot of these kind of movies. She's normally a great actress for this caliber of film. This was one of her better performances for sure. Adam Vincent hasn't done much before or after this movie, which is a crying shame because he wasn't that bad. Nora J. Novak, who's in the upcoming Axeman 2 Overkill, is the most enthusiastic I felt. She thrived in her role, to the extent of her acting capabilities. Cinematography could have been worse, but much better too. One scene involving a visit with the former, now burnt yet with no makeup applied priest was effective with the lighting, but that's about it. The core, the effects. A dental instrument is poked into a nurse and a dentist's eye. A man's throat is slashed by a fan blade. What? Another guy has his fingers cut off and he is then drilled in the back and buzzed with a saw in the face. Definitely the goriest death in the film. It felt more like a poltergeist than anything, which so much defeats the purpose of the movie. In the original Omen movies, it was like accidents were occurring that couldn't be linked back to the Antichrist. Here, the kid's got a fucking notebook of the victims prior and soon to be dead. There was a person who had a horrible act play out right before her, and then she's killed off knowing that said act, with no resolution. That's messed up. Points. The musical score, nothing much, just some typical stock audio. This was a terrible movie, but it does have some good gore and a few decent performances. It could have been better, and had a stronger impact, but I give credit where credit's due because of that low budget. But that only gets it so far. Overall, I give 666 The Child a 1.5 out of 5. Lion Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, leave comments, and subscribe.